The last time we caught up with Kevin Wilmot, he was celebrating an Oscar win for his work on The Black Klansman. The director, screenwriter, and KU professor has always called Kansas home. His latest project, another one with Spike Lee, is now streaming on Netflix. There's already some Oscar buzz, assuming the Oscars can be held in 2021.
Black GI, is it fair to serve more than the white Americans that sent you here? Nothing is more confused than to be ordered into a war to die without the faintest idea of what's going on.
Da 5 Bloods is about 4 black Vietnam veterans who returned to Vietnam.
I dedicate this next record to the soul brothers of the 1st Infantry Division's Big Red One. Be safe.
Kevin Wilmot co-wrote the movie with Spike Lee. For Wilmot, the story is something he saw firsthand.
I grew up around Fort Riley and kind of grew up seeing soldiers go to Vietnam and come back, and they were all in my neighborhood. And so I saw that camaraderie, that brotherhood, that, terms like Bloods and the dap handshakes, that was all part of growing up for me.
While people protested the war at home, many black soldiers went off to fight. They didn't have a choice.
Early in the war, especially, black soldiers paid a huge price because they were drafted in large numbers, and America had not figured out how to fight the Vietnamese yet.
At the time of the war, blacks made up about 11% of the U.S. population. In 1966, Project 100,000 pulled hundreds of thousands of poor men into the war, 40% of them African American. By the following year, 23% of combat troops were black.
Black Vietnam veterans, they really have never had their story told.
In the movie, the characters go back to Vietnam decades later to find buried treasure and the remains of their squad leader.
Who was that guy? That brother was the best damn soldier that ever lived.
Actor Delroy Lindo plays a broken veteran struggling with PTSD.
A broken man.
His performance stands out.
He's truly amazing in the film. And, and it's always great to see actors that have been around a long time. And, he's truly just a great actor.
The film is also getting a lot of attention because of how relevant it is to what's happening in America right now.
Vietnam was different in the sense that there's a war going on back home for these rights, a battle going on for these rights back home. And Dr. King is murdered during that time. And there's a real intense struggle back home. The cities are on fire. And it really kind of makes you have to assess what it means to be an American and what it means to be a black American. And I think that's kind of what's going on right now.
In Da 5 Bloods, there's a scene involving a Black Lives Matter organization.
The amazing thing was that the movie, that was always the movie. And I wrote the Black Lives Matter part of the film in over a year ago. Actually, it would have been 2 years ago.
Black Lives Matter!
When you try to go there with subject matter, when you try to things naturally kind of make connections.
Before the pandemic, the movie was supposed to have its world premiere at the Cannes Film Festival, then shown in theaters. For now, you can only see it on Netflix, but a lot of people are seeing it. In fact, it's the #1 movie being watched on Netflix.
You keep having to prove yourself. You want to keep the standard high, and that's what's kind of been great about Da 5 Bloods is that people have really responded to it so far, and so that's really rewarding.
And it was just announced that Wilmot is set to write an Arthur Ashe biopic. Ashe was the only black man to win Wimbledon, the U.S. Open, and the Australian Open. And this Saturday, Wilmot will visit Olathe. He'll be the special guest at the Rally for Racial Justice. It's happening at Frontier Park. Things will get started at 7 p.m.